Well, hello everyone, and welcome back to costumeco for another fun interview we're doing with Propstore today. And to help me with this, to help me navigate this whole thing, is my good friend Ro from Scariff Podcast is here.
What's up,
Hello,
everybody?
Ro.
How you doing? How are you, Heidi?
I'm great. I'm really glad we're able to do this. And of course, we have Maegen with us, Maegen Hensley. She is the director of Asset Management with
Yep.
Propstore as
Hi. How are
well.
you guys doing?
Fantastic.
We're doing awesome. We're so happy you're
Good.
here. She's
Thank
here from
you, and
LA.
thank you.
She's calling in from LA. She's not actually here.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Not
And
physically.
One day we'll do a
one
live
day
show.
we'll
Yeah.
do that. Yeah.
That would be
And I
awesome.
Okay.
also want to just do a big shout out to Charlie, who's operating the camera, which is Ro does this for a living. So he knows it's
Man after my own heart.
yes, exactly. Man after his own heart. So anyway, just a quick intro. So when we got a nice email asking us to cover this movie, it was like a hot yes.
Yes.
Hello. Both Ro
Of
and I are
course.
huge fans. Love the original movie. I've seen it probably, I don't know, like 20 times. But
Mhm.
anyway, just did a fresh rewatch on this and it's excellent. Again, like on repeated watchings. Ro, what do you think of this movie? What are your thoughts on Blade Runner 2049?
It's one of those movies that people were really anticipating. They were, chomping at the bit, trying to see, how they could top, the original Blade Runner.
Mhm.
Obviously, my biggest thing was always, will Harrison Ford be in it? Who's going to be the new, the new protagonist, the new antagonist? Um, Blade Runner really broke a lot of molds when it came to environments. I think there's a little bit. There's a lot of crossover in the style of which Blade Runner produced. The original film, and that has been imitated. Since then. So it's really great to see that Blade Runner kind of continued with that tradition of rich costumes and scenery and
Mhm.
characters. So it's fantastic. I love it.
Good.
Yeah. So, Megan, now were you a Blade Runner fan? Did you, when you saw this film, I'm assuming you saw the film. So what were your thoughts on it?
So I have been a Blade Runner fan since the first one. I kind of grew up with it. My parents played it, so I fell in love with it. And as you're growing older, you adopt Harrison Ford into your life. So of course, when this came out or when we heard about it, we were super excited, hoping he was going to be in it. And they didn't disappoint. So this one was, there's a rare moment where the sequel can be equal or better than the first, and I really, really enjoyed this one almost more than the first one. I have to admit that because the first one, when you're a kid, it's a little long, but when you rewatch it as an adult, you get to really cherish the moments that are a little bit more scenic. You get to appreciate it a little bit better. And then this one just wrapped it all up again, and hoping they make a third kind of thing.
Absolutely.
So yeah,
And
the scenery.
they're making a TV show.
I know. I
Yeah.
wasn't
So
sure how
that's
much I was allowed
exciting.
to say. So yes.
Um,
Yeah.
It,
So we
it's
were
funny. It's funny.
excited.
Megan says that it was so long, but it was so long, and there's so many versions. I've got like
mhm.
That's
the,
true.
the original
It's
Blu-ray
Yeah,
with like
There's
what
only one.
six versions of it.
my director's like my
Oh,
little
that's
box set
nice.
here from it has
Mhm.
five cuts.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, so when we were, you know, crossed our paths with this film and were able to offer it to everybody, we were just super excited because we knew that this was going to be so anticipated. It's been a little while, it's been a hot minute since the second one came out, and everybody really loved that one. We knew that these items were going to be super popular, and you can go online right now and you can check out the bidding pattern, and it ends on Thursday, so everybody's kind of cranking up for that.
Right.
And the anticipation is really high right now, so
Yeah,
we're
so we're just in
excited.
time right before it's being
Yep.
the auction closes. So anyway, so we're really fortunate because Megan has sort of put together a nice little sampling of some of the costumes and some props. She's got them all behind her there.
Yep.
She a couple of the key characters. So I know you've
Mhm.
got for sure you've got Kay,
Yes.
and I saw you have Joy, the Anna de Armas costume, and also Love, I think.
Love. Yes, and we
do
have a Deckard as well. So,
oh, you have a Deckard. That's right. Okay.
Yeah. So I'll just breeze through
Sure.
a few of these here. I'm going to go ahead and close this. I don't want too much reflection. But we did want to pinpoint and really highlight the effect that the costume designer put onto these coats in particular for Kay's costumes. They were thinking he's poor, he's a replicant. What is going to kind of give that still military vibe and the protection against the environment? So that's why the costume designer created these in this sort of pattern and shape. And I think she did a great job. And the reason why we wanted to show both of them is because you see the evolution of his costume as he goes through the trials and tribulations of this world and what he has to do in order to get to, his finale. And this one in particular shows the blood on the inside. This one is his beginning opening shot, where he's the designer really wanted to hide everything but his eyes, because of course Ryan Gosling's got some beautiful eyes. So Kay opens up he magnetizes his jacket there, and which is fine because there's some magnets built in. You can display it up, you can display it down, and this is the clean version. It's the one that you see at the farm. And then on to this one. I'm trying not to touch them too much. I realized I forgot my gloves, so maybe Charlie can grab me some
No
gloves
worries.
in a second. But yes, this is the bloodied up version for when he gets wounded. I don't want to give too much away in case somebody needs to watch that movie before Thursday.
Spoiler, right? Yeah.
Spoiler, right?
While Charlie's getting your gloves, you mentioned that there are magnets in there.
There are,
and
yes,
that's really interesting because it seems like, we've talked to you about several costumes, and a lot of times, some of the magic is done like after the fact, but it seems like these costumes are really. You opened the jacket and it was really thick and really, it looks like it's really well made.
Yeah. Oh, these are excellently made. It's a coated cotton. So they took a cotton duck or a twill and then they coated it. So you get that sheen in there. But it also adds to the thickness. And then of course she used a faux Sherpa for the lining. So you see the lining here, you see it here and here, just to add that, the environment itself is always rainy. It's always cold. So he's got to wear something warm. But they didn't want it too heavy for the actor is what my assumption is, which is why I don't think that they went for leather. Leather's always seemingly grimy. And then she just kind of stuck with a more of a lightweight, but it's very thick. It's still very warm. And of course he wears his sweater underneath, which also adds to the appearance of being cold, appearance of being a little bit poor, very monotone colors. I mean, I think she did a really great job on his character in particular, emulating that and his struggles as a poor replicant. So
yeah, and also because the cotton makes sense, and the faux Sherpa because there wouldn't have been leather or there wouldn't have been animal products at that point, right? Because they're basically extinct.
Good
so
thinking.
I kind of love that. And I love actually kind of has, how they have those Australian outback coats, kind of reminds me of that. They put that waterproofing on it. And then if it's rainy, it keeps you dry. And of course he looks amazing. And one of the things I meant to mention at the very beginning of this is I want to say, because I'm, everyone knows I'm Canadian. I have to say it all the time because we're very insecure. that the movie is directed by Denis Villeneuve, who's Canadian, and Ryan Gosling's Canadian. So it's got a huge Canadian connection. So I just wanted to say that.
Yeah. Yes. Good. I'm glad that you got that in.
I always have to. Ro knows I'm very insecure. He's from Chicago. So he's like, you know. most go ahead, sorry.
Let's jump on over to the other costumes since I don't want to spend, I want to spend equal amount of time on everything here. So in that same vein, of course, we're looking at Deckard, who has been on his own outcast, right? And he's living on the outskirts. He's living in, very harsh environment. And so, of course, his clothing is also very dull, very simple. And then we have as well for him the evolution of everything that he goes through. So by the end of the movie, you see them a little bit more grimy and you see them a little bit more worn. they start out pretty worn too, just because of how he's living, right, in solitude, and barely surviving. Although all of a sudden there's bees out there, which is great.
Mhm.
So not everything is extinct,
It's
but so can't go without the bees. So she did a great job in just simplifying him and showing his struggles in the color tone and the basicness of his costumes. But we have a few of these online, and so this is a great pickup if you want to just this exudes Deckard's performance exactly. So I loved this. That's why I wanted to show that off. And then of course we have the ladies, which I'm trying not to hit this door back here.
amazing.
I just have to say that with Joy's costume, this just screams Blade Runner, the original.
Yeah.
And I was super happy to see this. I was super happy to see the designer include this as one of her main costumes. She wears it for probably the most time that she wears a costume. You see it as she's, doing the research with Kay, and then in the apartment, and then back into, when they go and see Deckard. So you see this costume and its iterations. She's got one that's got no sleeves, and she's got one with the long sleeves. And then you can see all of the stitch work on these. This is just great. I mean, she doesn't even need it, but she, of course, being a hologram, but she puts it on her just to kind of get the feel of that environment. And I love it.
Wait. She's a hologram. Spoiler.
Sorry. Come on. That happens within the first 2 minutes. You know it.
Well, it's funny because I was thinking, I think, Maegen, I think we had you when we did, was it Zora? When we had her, remember her plastic raincoat and bikini? Who did we have on row for that? Yeah, so it kind of reminded me of, is it Zora, like the Joanna Cassidy character in Blade Runner?
No, I didn't do that one.
Oh, okay. We had you had it on auction, and I'm sorry, I can't remember who did the tour for us. And she had that bikini. Do you remember she wears that bikini with the snake around her neck?
Yeah.
And then there's that one scene where she puts on the plastic raincoat and she runs and smashes. So that's why I was thinking that was a nice tie to that.
Yeah,
that's exactly what I meant. Yeah, that's exactly what I meant. I mean, again, she doesn't need it. I mean, neither did she in the first one, because replicants don't really care about rank. Well, I guess they care about everything. I shouldn't say that. That is the whole point of the movie. They do care about everything. But for her, she just this is just a huge nod to the first film, and that's why I loved it. I love that the designer brought this back and kind of made it full circle.
So, absolutely.
Yeah. Love it.
And then Love Here, again, try not to hit the doors. Love Here is an interesting story because for Wallace to call her his angel, and then just kind of all of a sudden she turns into sort of an antagonist at the end. You sort of see her evolution where she starts out wearing a lot of white. It's white this, white that, and then all of a sudden she's in the doctor's office. She's got this jacket on. It's flipped open. You can see a little bit of, you can see a little bit of the black. It's not flipped open quite yet, but that's where you see the darker side of her. Is that moment. She's not wearing this. This is where she goes in and you see a second darker moment, and I'm trying not to give too much away, where she eliminates an important person in the movie. And so bringing in the red during that scene, I mean, it was just so, you think it's obvious, but it's very subconscious. It's very like, oh my gosh, I'm seeing this evolution of this angel that turns really, really nasty to some people's point of view, right? To Wallace, of course, she's trying to protect, she's trying to guide what's going to happen towards the end of the movie. And so I love that she brought in this sort of transition of this huge whiteness to the black to the red, and then at the end of the movie she turns into this gray. And so that was kind of a nice transition. That was a nice seeing how the designer incorporated all of that into her designs for this character. So
it's funny, I'm noticing two things. I'm noticing the lines in the design of the clothing. They're really elegant and kind of romanticized, the long low slopes. But I'm also noticing how it seems like, just from you manipulating the fabric, it seems like, a lot of times movie costumes are kind of flimsy. They're just, just so the camera can see them. But it doesn't seem like that's the case with these.
Oh
These are
no,
really, really,
very well
heavy
made.
and well
Yeah.
made.
Yeah, very well made. Mostly fully lined. I mean, you get your standard cottons, shirts, that are, but then you have, all of a sudden a vinyl. Well, it's more of a it's a lightweight polyester vinyl combo skirt, but it feels like, because of the texture, it feels very bulky. But this is actually really, really light. The other thing I like to point out is, you're right about the zippers. Like, it seems like they didn't. I mean, you obviously know that they're on the pants, but they're not seen. You obviously know they're going to be somewhere in the skirt, but it's not seen. So she's using invisible zippers to kind of give that illusion that it's not needed, right? And then there's no closures on these. This is, again, a magnet. So you see the magnet. I love that she brought in some of the more modern and what looks like futuristic stylization of some of our favorite couture designers. And
I love that I love that bubble wrap looking, black, looks like bubble wrap almost. That texture is very cool.
It's a quilted vinyl. It's a quilted vinyl is all a nylon. Sorry.
But I think the combination of materials is what makes it stand out, and it's unique. It's funny that you mentioned the zippers, because I think now it's kind of like a thing in the Star Wars community. There was some controversy about seeing zippers in Star Wars. George Lucas said that there's no underwear in Star Wars. There's no fasteners. So there's this thing behind the scenes that, like in a science fiction property, technology has advanced so much that there's no zippers. So it's funny when you do see zippers in science fiction, there's so much controversy behind that. But I think these costumes are done so well. It goes along with that. It's great.
It really does. And
we call that Zippergate, by the way, Heidi. Zippergate.
Well, I think it was Gene Roddenberry who sort of started that whole trend, the no fasteners.
Stuff, yeah. Although you could see the zipper pulls up there on those collars,
Oh,
mean, the invisible zipper took that whole, futuristic idea to the next level. And that's what made all of that possible. So, you see a lot of those on the other franchises I'm not going to mention. But I mean, highly used in this one. So, definitely. You guys want to see some props?
Yes, we'd love to. Thank you.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, go ahead. That's what I was going to say. Did you want to show us some props?
Yes, I do. Let's start with some of these props here. Some of my favorite props. Obviously, you have the knives and the switchblades, and they are a poignant part of, causing havoc in the movie. We do have a lot of the stunt ones, which aren't, sharp or anything like that. So, but the detail, and I just want to point out this one in particular. I mean, they didn't have to do anything. You see this for a split second, and she, brings it out and. Well, okay, I'm not going to describe the scene, but you can see the detail of this, and this is you can see the bendy. It bends.
Does it actually fold up, Maegen? Does it like a switchblade? Oh, it's stationary. Okay.
Yeah,
but
this is stationary.
So that's rubber or some kind of soft
material. It's a
oh wow.
It's a plastic. The words are escaping me at the moment.
But
it's
poly something. It's poly something.
Polyurethane? No.
Polyurethane.
I don't know. No. So, and it's not resin. It's definitely, it bends. It's the classic stunt fabrication of these things. I love
fantastic.
It looks amazing.
From a distance, it looks real. It's just the intricacy of all of that design that makes it look a lot more futuristic. I mean, you have the scalpel, which is very, very plain because scalpels are plain. But then again, you have another switchblade, and I'm trying to get this off nicely. This is also not metal.
Wow.
Very lightweight.
God, it looks great. It looks.
Yeah. And they're just so believable. I really wish they did close, and they didn't make them functional, but just beautiful, beautiful stylization. And this adds just to the environment of the movie and how it represents our future. So just wanted to point out those. And then, of course, we have some of the fun electronics. This is one of those viewfinders that he looks through the photos with. Trying to get to all of it, so I don't want to run over everything. We have Deckard's police handcuffs. We have, this is actually one of the favorites. A lot of people have been asking to see this because they want to see this.
Yeah, that's funny.
They just want to see the cork.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it is a functional bottle.
Mm-hmm.
And, they did make replicas of these. So I was told. So I haven't looked it up online to see how true that was. But this is from production. So this is the real thing, real deal. And
is it actually glass?
Oh, no, this is plastic.
Oh, okay.
Black label of the future.
Yeah.
Black label.
One of the things I was looking at when they did the when I was rewatching the movie is to see if they had square glasses, but they didn't go with the square glasses. But it is supposed to be it's supposed to be a bit more in the future, I guess. So I love those glasses.
I liked this too, but we do have the glasses, so
those monitors there in the are they just props? Do they have any electronics or anything?
These ones here. So I know some do and some don't. I'm not sure if this one is one of those stagnant ones. Oh, it does function. It opens up.
Oh, wow.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. And I do believe it turns on. I just don't know. I didn't play with it right before we started. My apologies. I know there is a button. Charlie, you remember the button?
Cool.
There is a button. I swear. Yeah, I thought it did. So the battery may be out on this one.
Yeah, but that's really neat.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of times you get electronics that are made from the same material of that the knives are, that they don't work at all.
Yeah.
But it's really nice to see functional,
Maegen, are those handcuffs the ones that Deckard wears when he's on the ship, like when he's about to drown? Is that
I think these are just a sample. These ones are the ones. There's two.
Oh, there is. Okay.
Yeah. I believe his are black.
Neat.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong.
There's this one.
There's so many.
Oh, yeah. Now, what are those made out of?
Plastic again. Yeah, plastic and metal parts, aluminum parts, all sorts of things to make it lightweight, to make it easy for the actor, not to be too, even the, what's funny is I don't know if we have this today or if it's going to be a future thing. The holds that go, the wrist holders that go around your wrists are very smooth, so they're not really cutting into your wrists. Mm-hmm. So I don't really know anything about handcuffs these days. Sorry, I've never been arrested. So, but I can imagine that they're uncomfortable. These ones don't feel uncomfortable. We went way down a dark road. So they're fun. They twirl.
That's really neat.
Great little piece.
So you can just slip your hands right inside of it. Then I guess.
Well,
so
I can. I just, small hands.
But it can open and close. Kind of.
It can.
Oh, there you go. Oh.
Yeah. Yep. Oh, neat.
Yeah. Safety first, obviously. So, and then, and this was a fun piece. I really liked it because two actors actually end up holding this. So you've got Kay, and then you've got his boss that comes by his office, and she just helps herself to a bottle. So I thought that was fun. They added a lot of the time period of the different type of languages that appear on a lot of the marketing, and I thought it was a fun piece. And then you just buy yourself one of the glasses that we have, and you've got yourself a set.
Is that resin or some kind of plastic as well?
That's actually glass.
Oh, wow. It is.
That was heavy.
You could have it at your bar if you have a home bar with the glasses.
Wow.
That'd be very cool.
Yeah,
very cool.
And then make your own bottles and have a nice set there. So,
you just probably fill it up with whatever your favorite is.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I don't know if I would use that one.
Oh, okay.
I think that's great.
I know, no kidding.
After paying for it,
yeah, exactly.
And then you have a lot of Deckard's carved little animals there. Is that what those are?
Yeah.
Oh,
so
amazing.
I'm going to move the horsies down. So these are production horses. So they are a version of the final horse that they actually used. We did not get permission to sell that one, so we were able to offer at least the secondary backup horses. They don't have the date at the bottom, unfortunately, but they are very, very similar. It was we had to do a little bit of research to make sure that these weren't the ones being used. But you do see these on Decker's bar and his, tabletops and his countertops. You see quite a few of them. We have this set, and you can see in online, you see the screen matching of each piece. And that's really fun because, just to have something that was in his apartment that, he made as a tribute, just to pass his time. But we have the lion, we have the rhino, and we have the horse. So, well, actually, it's a unicorn. It's a unicorn. And I'm sorry, I did have the origami sheep here. And I, at first, when I saw it, called it the unicorn because I thought it was a nod to the first one. And I was completely wrong, and it's a sheep. So,
actually, because Ro, you were really fascinated with that one because that's Edward James Olmos, I think, makes that, if I recall, he's at the retirement home.
Right.
Yep.
And he's still doing origami all these years later.
I'm practicing. I'm almost getting there. Oh, sorry. Didn't do it.
That's good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Go ahead, Maegen. Sorry.
Oh no, I was just gonna go on. No, tell us your origami story.
Oh no, I was just gonna say in my little kit I have here. This isn't a prop store thing, but it came with like a little unicorn. See, a little silver unicorn. So that was fun. Nice. This is just in my little collectible, but this isn't a prop store collectible. It's just
it's retail.
It's a fandom thing. Yeah, but I thought it was really cute.
Absolutely, Maegen. Yeah.
No, I really did like, and I'm sorry, I don't have it in front of me to show you guys, but I really did like that they brought back that full circle, with his origami and how it's the unicorn and how he was just kind of saying, hey, I know what you're doing. I'm here, but I support you, dude. I'm not going to arrest you. So it's like, that was kind of nice. And then to bring him back in the second movie and have him just sitting there making the origami, that was kind of a very precious moment. And I'm really glad that they put that in there. So, a couple more fun things. We have the memory balls, she just has those really quickly showing. This is fun. This is when Love, and I say she, sorry, I mean Love, comes to Wallace and gives him his little implant in order for him to see what's going on. So this is the set that when she just opens this up and then she takes one out and puts it on his device. So that's a fun thing because then you can see the actual pieces that were in there and we put them back in there because they were separated. We did take out those screen matched ones. So that one is being sold separately with one of the blue illuminated lights that appear on his neck. So that's really fun. And then the piece that comes around and acts as his camera, that's also being sold separately too. So a lot of fun little pieces and nods to Blade Runner. So if you want to just catch something really quick, that's, not one of the costumes, if you don't have room for it, if you want something smaller,
for sure.
Some of the things to definitely look out
What's
for.
that thing that says LAPD on it, that black?
So these so all over, you'll see them all over in the scenes where the department head, she's got stacks of these kind of binders on her desk. You see them as he's walking through, and it's fun because it's just a little bit of a, they've just got some random things in here about LAPD, cool. Like just little kind of nods to fill the binder to make it look important, and we thought it would be fun to be able to share some of that with everybody. So you'll see a few lots of that in there, and the way they made these clear folders, which is fun. Like this is just a really
nice,
sexy vinyl, and they've printed all over it. So I wish here, hold on, you can see it a little bit better if I flip the page, so you can see. So it's just some fun stuff. And in it is some paperwork that's sometimes applicable to the case and sometimes not. It was a little bit random what they put in there. And so we just offered it as is. And this one just says off-world credentials. I mean,
That's
it's
cool.
really immersed you in these things. It's really fun. Yeah.
It's one of those. That's one of the things that fascinates me about prop builders. You know that the director's probably not going to, focus on one particular item in the background or something, but these people really put so much into it by adding little details that only maybe they know or a small group of people know, and it's really wonderful. I mean, that binder that has all the paperwork, it never gets opened, but it's really nice to have like something in there because it just makes it so much more enriching the environments. I love that.
It might be nice for the cast too, if they're, if they have to have something just to kind of go through, or I don't know if it was used in that way, but I always think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, a fun story that's not applicable to this particular film, but I know has happened on other films, is that some of the graphics designers will put their friends or their coworkers' pets' names as like the person who's being committed a crime or something like that. So like Lola will be in an investigation in one family. You're like, wait a minute, that's my dog.
That's so funny.
They like to do that. That's really clever. So, but I do want to hit on before, I'm not sure how much time we got left. So I want
do you want to do one more?
Can I do 3?
Oh, yeah, no, absolutely. I didn't realize you had so much, of course. I just want to keep you too long.
No, that's okay. Let's just run through these. These are the more popular items, obviously. We've got Joy's emanator. So this is the emanator that he and it's like, this is so intricate. So he opens up a package, the shipper package, right, which is a part of this lot. Then he opens up the orange box, which has the writing on it. Then he has to open up another box that has the emanator in it. So you get all of this stuff with just this one lot. Then you get the emanator.
Wow, amazing.
I know, the attention to detail, and this opens up, and then this turns on. So you can see, and this is what allows Joy, of course, to be able to walk around freely, because he's got this projection of her. So this, it went off, sorry. I guess it's on a timer, it's not to kill the battery.
Okay.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Oh, that's really neat.
I need one of those.
It's just simple, and it opens and closes, and it's just a fun thing to have in your living room, I think.
Absolutely. What if some people might buy it thinking that they would actually get an AI girlfriend with that?
Well, it's coming. Those days are coming. And I'm sure, I've got people whose hands are waving going, I really want one. Yeah, Charlie. Thank you, Charlie, for participating.
Charlie and Roe.
Charlie and Roe, exactly. Yeah. I wouldn't mind one. If they could do housekeeping, that would be
absolutely
great.
That's what I'm looking for.
No. Companion is what they need to be there for. They're companions. So, and then of course we have the blaster. I mean, this thing is so heavy. It does turn on here. Tiny little light. Let me see if the battery's in there, because we sometimes take it off. Oh, there you go. So you just got that.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And we have some
I saw that on Adam's
too. Yeah.
I saw that on Adam's show.
Yeah, of course. So he's obsessed with all the electronics, as he should be.
Of course
he
just
wants to find out how they're all made. And I mean, that his knowledge base is so extensive that
absolutely.
He can figure that out pretty easily.
Yeah, it's on a nice display there too that you have for it.
Yeah, it is a very nice one. It's homemade.
And you said it's heavy?
It is heavy, this one.
Nice, yeah.
I do believe we have 2 that are real, and then 3 that are stunt. I may be a little off on those numbers, but definitely look online. I know we have a ton of blasters. So we've got Kay's blasters, we've got Deckard's blasters, and then we've got Love's blasters too. So, and we have stunts and reels of almost everything. I'm not sure we have a real Love, but there's a blaster for everybody, I feel like, because we just went full bore on those, and they are so well made, well made. Even the scout ones have got some weight to it. They're not as heavy. These definitely have metal parts in it, but still very, very, I mean, it's so indicative of the future. It's exactly how you would think a future blaster would be if it's 49, right? It means we're not talking that far into the future. So and then one of my fun favorite things, of course, is his LAPD badge.
Yeah.
And he opens it up, it lights up, and it actually turns
Oh,
off
wow.
So
with
cool.
this little magnet thing. So when we first got it, we were like, oh my gosh, how does that work? And we took it and we're like, oh my gosh, it just turns on. So
That's
this
nice.
is a fun piece, and I'm sure Adam talked about this too, but it's just the detail. I'm trying to get the lit up detail. I'm sure you guys have seen this online. He's got his detail here, he's got his fingerprint, he's got the badge itself, and then even the wallet itself made of vinyl. It's just the plasticness of it, very, very, I would say, fashion forward. I would love to see
I love the LAPD font that they've used. It's sort of got a bit of a hardness to it, It's really cool.
Yep, sharp lines.
I don't know if that was in the original movie. I can't remember, but I really love it.
I don't remember, honestly. That's good something to look up there. So
I'll look that up later. But no, that's a very cool piece.
Yeah. So I just wanted to show those.
So you don't have to go out and buy a big, massive thing. You can buy something small, something that you'll have room for if you. And obviously,
something for everyone.
Different price points. Like if someone's like, so can I ask you, Maegen, what's the most expensive, or what item are you expecting probably to get the highest bid on? Do you have any, based on what you're seeing so far?
Well, I think definitely the K's costumes are going to be huge. I think the Blaster may go for quite a bit. As it really is Deckard's blasters and the K costumes, because they're just quality, and there's only this many of them, and so people are scrounging around and trying to get as much as they can in order to bid on these, because they're unique. This is the first time we've had this amount of items offered for Bladerunner 2049 ever, so it's a unique opportunity, and once it's gone, it's in private hands. Most of the time.
I know I ask you questions sometimes you're not allowed to ask. Are you allowed to mention the provenance of any of this? Like, where is it, the studio?
Directly from production.
Oh, okay, there you go.
Wow.
So
all of it.
Because I know sometimes it's like not allowed to talk about it.
No. This is a studio auction. It's from production.
Amazing.
All of it. Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah.
100%.
So it sounds like you got pretty much most of it, but maybe some things might have been given to actors as little gifts or something like that. So maybe things didn't.
Yeah, there's a lot of studios, and I can't comment on this one in particular, but there are a lot of studios that keep things for their archives. So they'll keep one of, certain number of primary character items. So you can imagine, that may go on with a lot of our studio auctions as well. So,
and the other thing I noticed about
stuff.
Oh, sorry, Maegen.
Yeah,
no, I was going to say one thing I noticed about the Ryan Gosling one is that it's complete too. Like you get the footwear, you get the pants, the shirt, and then even the Ana de Armas one there behind you has those cute little I don't know if they're Velcro boots, but they're really
buckles. Yeah, they're buckles. They have buckles on them. Yeah. And we do try to make as complete of costumes as possible. And then there will be some costume extras. They'll make 6 coats, but maybe only 3 pairs of shoes. So, I always look for the complete costumes. And if for some reason that's out of my price range, I will go ahead and go for the secondary one and try and find a replica shoe. There's a lot of people that will complete costumes that way. But even down to the belts and down to the cufflinks, we try to make them as complete as possible. And this was no exception. So,
Ro, do you have any final questions for Maegen?
No. So you mentioned buckles are okay, but zippers are out of the question, right?
Right. I don't know why. I don't even know if you see that in any other franchises, but I think you do. Buckles are fine.
I think in Star Wars we see buckles on boots, don't we? I'm not sure now that I think about it.
I don't know about. They're different types of buckles.
Yeah.
And on those X-Wing, yes, there's buckles.
Yeah,
for sure. Well, Maegen, we always love having you and Charley so much. It's always so fun. And of course, we always want you back right away. Anytime.
Anytime.
And also because you're the LA contingency, we sometimes get the London contingency, but we're always very grateful to have you. And one day, Ro and I will try and get down there.
That would be fabulous. We would love a visit, and we can do this
It's so fun to
live.
do.
Yes.
Yeah. Ro, do you have any other questions before we let Maegen go?
No, it's always a pleasure hanging out with you, Maegen, and looking at the props. It's just amazing stuff. It's one of the things that really fascinates us as movie fans, as you know, of all movies. It's just a wonderful process, and thank you very much for you know, giving us a little glimpse of your everyday.
Anytime. I love it. Thank you so much for having me on your show.
Oh yeah, it's like a little bit of magic. We get to have like a little sample of magic
Yeah.
when we have Propstore on. So I want to thank Maegen so much. She took her, some time from her day to come and talk to us, and Charlie, who's doing the camera. And as I mentioned, Maegen, she's the director of asset management with Propstore, and they will be having lots more auctions. There's always like I'm always kind of blown away by how many auctions they do per year. So hopefully we'll have you back soon.
Definitely.
Yeah, and now you said this one is closing on Thursday, though.
Yes, that's correct.
Is that correct? Okay, so you have to get your bids in very quickly.
Exactly. Start now.
All right. Well, thanks everyone who watched, and we kept Maegen a little longer, but I really appreciate her showing us so many things today. So we were very fortunate. All right. Well, have a great day, everyone. Take care. Bye.
Bye.